My name is Michael Knight, and I'm the Chief Digital Officer for Epic.io. And what I'd like to talk to you about today is the value of Epic.io along with IntelliSight and BroadSky Networks. So at Epic.io, we are a company that is focused on helping the world be a safer, smarter, and more connected place. And we do that through the extensive capabilities of what IntelliSight and BroadSky Networks bring to market. What I wanted to share with you is something that it's pretty simplistic, but it's pretty powerful as well. What we focus on is helping customers achieve connectivity, ingestion of data, enrichment of that information so they can drive their insights and outcomes. So if we kind of break that down to kind of an easier scenario, we have CIEIO. So let's start at connectivity. When you hear the word connectivity, oftentimes you're thinking of simple LTE, which sometimes isn't that simple, or 5G or cellular connectivity. But as we think about the new types of connectivity that are coming out, whether that's ultra-wideband 5G, new types of connectivity that we're adopting, such as private LTE, CBRS, or even taking advantage of things such as millimeter wave or WiMAX, all of these connectivity components can be part of what we're helping to enable of how to get an edge connected. Now, when we say connectivity and an edge, the reason that we're all trying to do that, and our customers are trying to do that, and the world is trying to do that, is trying to get more information about what's happening in the physical world. So when we want to connect to that edge, not only do we have to bring some level of bandwidth or backhaul to there so that we can get information from there, but we have to have the connectivity, the physical to digital sensors. So whether that's something as simple as an IoT sensor, or is as capable as a camera, whether that's optical, thermal, or otherwise, we want to be able to make that connection to that edge. So if we have the right type for this instance, or any instance of connectivity from a backhaul side, and we're bringing in the right level of sensors and other types of cameras, we have to have a way to ingest that information or bring that in. Now, sometimes we have the opportunity to leverage high capacity bandwidth, whether that's through millimeter wave, CBRS, or even 5G ultra wideband. But oftentimes there may not be enough bandwidth at that edge just to simply take all of that data. So what we want to be able to do, instead of just moving raw data that can be awfully expensive, we have edge compute that's also at that location. So what that enables us to do is connect to that location from a backhaul side. That allows us to have the sensors that are there, but that sensor information is coming into a local edge resource and being ingested there and then enriched. Now, ingestion enrichment, as we kind of talked about earlier, depending on the situation, depending on the bandwidth that's available, can of course be done at that specific edge, at a MEC layer, private cloud, public cloud, or another type of compute stack. So when you look at connectivity specifically, we have a number of things that we're focused in on there and things that we can truly help enable. And it's not just bringing one, sometimes it's 3 or 4 different types of connections. Sometimes in the sensor realm, it might be as simple as a camera, sometimes 4 cameras, sometimes 10 different sensors with IoT. And that's really where that connectivity and understanding what that end outcome helps us to drive that type of discussion and enable the solution that the customer is looking for as part of that. So specifically then around ingestion, if we've got the right connectivity to the edge, the physical to the digital, we then are really focused on how we're bringing that information in. And as we all know, there are different types of sensors that are either very legacy in nature, some may be operating over 900 megahertz or lower, even directly connected sensors like Modbus, or we move to a more advanced layer such as Wi-Fi, BLE, or even something like LoRa or Sigfox that could be a part of that. Well, as with all of those sensors, each of them have different types of information or formats that data is flowing in. And there's times where we want to know exactly, as real time as possible, what's occurring with that sensor. And that's as that information is coming in, whether that we're taking that information and backhauling it somewhere to be ingested and enriched, or happening at that edge node, we have the ability to transform that data. So if it's information that's coming in, I can take a 1 or a 0, but because I know what the sensor is, I can transform that into real information, such as, is a door open or closed? Is a gate open or closed? Or is this sensor telling me something is wet or dry? Because of that high level capability to ingest all of these different types of information, including pictures and video feeds, I'm able to enrich that through an advanced rule chain that can occur at that edge, at the MEC, core cloud, or wherever that's specifically required. And so when we think about enrichment, it's really how do I bring in data transpose that into something that is meaningful, taking a raw data, raw material, and making that an enhanced or enriched function, we then can act upon that in a much better fashion. And I can also look at multiple sensors and multiple things that are occurring as part of that. So if I have all of that stream of information coming in, I'm ingesting that, I'm taking in a camera feed, and I'm enriching that through that rule chain that could include computer vision, artificial intelligence, right at that edge. So I can then detect, track, and extensively classify a specific situation, whether I'm detecting a person or vehicle, whether I'm tracking them or where they're going, what vector they're on, or doing an extended classification, looking at rules engine that helps me to say, well, if these two individuals are going, or two entities are going on the same trajectory or line, I want to be able to alert something, I want to flash a light, I want to make some type of sound, right? So those are the really important things when we think about why do you connect, why do you ingest information, and how can you enrich that? And we've really reviewed how that can happen at any piece of that step of connectivity, what's most important for that specific outcome. Now we get to insights. Insights, when we take enriched data, we can see some things from the data, but usually it's still a very, very much a text stream. The insights we drive out of that is when we visualize, when we're able to operate on those specific enriched data flows or coalesce flows. And from the insight side, there can be many different things that people are trying to get out of it. Something as basic as, show me an alert if something is on or off, if something is moving or not moving. Something a little bit more advanced that says, is there a vehicle that's passed these specific geofence lines or individuals that are there? Or I want to be able to count the amount of people who are in this area in order to maintain security. I want to be able to enhance individuals being able to find parking spaces. All of that's done by that AI inference, that enrichment at the end, at the edge, that also brings in IoT data and other types of insights to create that specific information that customers trying to see. And what's so important is you can have multiple lenses of individuals that are a part of all of that. You might have somebody that is a parking assistant at that very edge where that camera exists. You may have a parking operator that wants a better view, or individuals that are using an app that are trying to find a parking space. All of those lenses are different insights that people are trying to drive, but the ultimate type of outcome is that we're enabling a more safe, more secure, more connected world. And by having the right level of connectivity, ingestion, enrichments, insights, and outcomes, and whether that's being completely visualized within the IntelliSight DeepInsights stack, or whether there's data that's being flowing out of that for other types of systems, the big value that we bring to customers is that we can consultatively discuss, how do you want to connect? Where's your data? Do you have access to all of that information? How are you enriching that? How are you able to visualize that? What outcome are you trying to drive? And so everything from a edge UIG or universal IoT gateway that has LTE and 5G and CBRS connectivity, edge compute sensors and cameras attached to that, that's communicating to the DeepInsights stack and being managed from DeepInsights. Also the visual outcome from that and the alerts and the alarms that all types of people need as part of that. So we're really able to help our customers and our partners engage at any one of those levels or all of those levels to drive the maximum epic value.